Hi everyone, this is week 34 of the 52-week project. This picture is a little bit different than the other ones that I've been taking. Most of the time last two images I did was stacking of the images, focus stacking that is. So I decided to go a little bit different this week and just do a straight macro shot. I guess I could have gotten closer, but as you can see we're at 30% here. I can go in closer if you'd like. Oh, that's 400%. That's really close. Let's just back off here. There's 100%. So we did get in pretty close with this one. It is lit from the right side with the external flash and an umbrella. That's where you see this light coming in from. I like the way it was highlighting the buttons. You can see the depth of it, and highlighting the alternate side, so you can see it's recessed in there. Alright, let's get started with this. The first thing I want to do is I think I'll bring up the highlights a little bit here. Just to show these little edges over here a little bit more. So I'm going to bring those highlights up. Pretty high with them, actually. There's a nice edge to it if you want to see what that looks like. It did brighten the overall image, but I'm mainly focused in these areas over here where the highlights are. I'm going to bring up the blacks a little bit too, because it is a little difficult to see in this area over here, and over in here it's a little dark, so I'm going to bring the blacks up just a little bit. That looks pretty good there. And I think the overall exposure was pretty good with this. I kind of like the nice soft light coming across it. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of contrast to this. Not too much. And let's bring some of the colors out in the buttons, considering these are really the only colors in here. I'm just going to push the vibrance up a little bit. And I'll give you a preview. Alright. And I think that's about all I'm going to do here in Camera Raw. So let's go open this up in Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to close this Properties panel here. The first thing I want to do is definitely clean up the dust here. I did wipe down the controller, but as you can see, I didn't get all of the dust. There's a lot of dust spots here. So I'm going to go over to the healing brush. Actually, I'll use the spot healing tool. Excuse me. And we can't work on a smart object, so I'm going to open up a new layer. You can go down to the new layer icon here and click that, or as you know, I'm about me and shortcuts. I have a shortcut. It's actually an action I have it bound to, because if you hit the shortcut it actually prompts you for a window, and I don't like to bother with that, so I created an action to create a new layer. Anyway, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, holding down Z, it toggles it for you. I am below, over 100% here, but that's okay. I'm just going to, with the soft brush sample, all layers is checked and content aware is on, which will help with not making nasty little marks all over here. Alright, make sure that your new layer is selected, and I'm just going to start painting over these little marks here. And you notice I got a little too close to the white there, so let's make the brush a little bit smaller there. Touch that there. And you can make it a little bit larger again, and continue on in other spots here. This could be a tedious process here. When I edited this earlier, I just saved out a copy of the dust removal layer here. So I'm just going to bring that in to save time on this video. So over here, as you can see, there was a lot of dust all over this thing. So it took me a little while to do that, but I'm going to save you guys the pain of watching me do that. So I'm going to hit the V key to get the move tool here and start to move it over. Just bring it over the top of this. Now you can see this bar around here means it's coming in. It's going to hold the Shift and Alt key and release it, and that should put the layer dead center, and it'll register right over all the old marks. So as you can see, turn the layer on and off here, all the dust that I had removed off of here. Okay, so the next step, actually what I'm going to do, I'm just going to merge these two together. Hold down the Control key and just Control E on those two. It merged those two layers together. One thing I did miss is this right here. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to use the clone stamp tool, and because I don't like this little tiny bit of white over here. And I'm just going to Shift click there and make my brush a little larger. And just paint over that. There we go. And I did that on the dust removal layer, just in case you were wondering. Okay. So that's what it was before and after. Okay. Now, I do want to see a little more light on this PS button over here. It's a bit in shadow, and, you know, considering it is a PlayStation controller, I kind of want to bring the emphasis on that. So what I'm going to do is go back into Camera Raw, but before I do that, I'm going to right click on this layer here, and I'm going to go to New Smart Object via Copy. Now what this does is breaks the link between the two, because if you just made a copy of it and then edited it, it would affect both of these layers. I just want to affect the one layer, but still be able to go back into Camera Raw to edit it. So now I could double click on it, and it opens back up in Camera Raw. And as you can see, it still has the same settings as previously. So I want to bring out the color, or I should say the brightness over in this PS button. So I'm going to bring my highlights up, and I'm going to go pretty high with that. And bring the whites up too. See how that works. Yeah, that's nice and bright now. I like that. And I'm just going to hit OK. And it's going to render out the object. Now, obviously it looks way too bright, so we're going to need to have a layer mask on here. So if you hold down the Alt key and click on your layer mask button, it will fill it in with black. And now just go to your brush tool by clicking B, and I'll make a larger brush here. Just maybe we'll go a little bit larger. Like that. And it looks like I had the, oh yeah, I must have hit caps lock. I had the precision cursor on. And gonna paint in with white, not black. And just paint over this PlayStation button here. I'm just going to make sure I hit the button and not anything else really, because you come over here and you're going to start getting white and light over in here. I really don't want that. So just make sure I get the button. And that looks pretty good. Alright, now I did notice a problem right over here, where this got really, really hot and it started to lose the color in the orange, and I didn't really like that. So I'm going to go back in again. I first click on this first layer here, and right click on it, and another smart object, and then I'm going to double click on that to open it up in Camera Raw once again. And now I'm going to change around the settings to darken this down a bit, because that's just way too bright, and I want to get that orange color back in there, kind of like it is with these over here. So Turn down my highlights. Put it all the way down. And put the whites down as well. And that really made it flat, so I'm just going to bring the contrast up a little bit. And you can see what I did there. And I'm going to hit OK. And since we want to just affect this one layer here, I'm going to have to do another layer mask. So I'm going to hold down, oh, there it is. Hold down the Alt key and cover it up. And I'm going to get a brush and slowly paint in make the brush a little smaller here. I don't want to go too dark. You see I kind of botched that right there. Now I'm using a pressure sensitive tablet, so it makes it a little bit easier to paint on here. I think I messed that up right there. Yes, I did. You can also hit the X key, and if your foreground color is set to white, foreground and background set to white and black, just hit the X key and it'll flip it back and forth. Make that brush bigger there. I want to get a nice transition on that. I kind of want to sharpen this edge up. You see how these are white here and a nice sharp white edge there? I don't want to get that over here, so I'll make my brush, oops, wrong button, make my brush smaller and paint on this edge with black. A little bit bigger. Remember, that's what was there originally, so it might look really bright. That's what was there to start with. And go really large here, and just try to blend it in a little bit. Alright, there we go. Let's see what it was and what it is now. I could probably add just a little bit more here. Let that filter out across, see how far this one goes and this one comes in a bit. Due to the direction of the light, it was harsher on this one, but I think that looks pretty good right there. Okay. And that is it. Let's go to full screen here. Hit the F key a couple of times and we'll fill the screen. Move that over just a little. Yeah, so now I can see the whole thing. Alright everyone, I will see you next week. Bye.